Aside from our suiting and our coating wools, there are many different varieties of wool fabric, again, each with their own personality and characteristic. Let's take a look at some of these other wools that are woven. Cavalry twill and whipcord. These two fabrics are very closely related and are defined by their tight twill weave. They are moderate to heavy in weight, very strong, and very suitable for outer garments and work clothing and pants. They are similar to gabardine, but are not as fine or light in weight. They're not typically used for suiting, but again have a longer history in being used for uniforms, work clothing, and any garment that needs to be strong and durable. Warm as well. Challis. Although today we can find this fabric made from many fibers, it was originally made of wool, and sometimes a wool-silk blend. It is a soft, thin, and woven with a plain weave with worsted yarns. Challis is often printed, but can be found in solid varieties as well. Because it is so thin and delicate, it can often be semi-sheer. Woolen flannel. Made in much of the same way as its worsted cousin, woolen flannel is brushed to create a fuzzy nap on the surface of the fabric. Because woolen flannel is made from woolen yarns and not worsted, the nap is usually plusher and the fabric thicker than worsted flannel. Woolen flannel is often seen with a plaid pattern, but can be made with other patterns or a solid color as well. It can be made with either a twill or plain weave, but higher quality flannels are usually made with a twill weave. Double cloth. This fabric is really any fabric that is woven with the double cloth technique. That means it can be made with any fiber, not just wool. However, it is often seen with wool and traditionally woven with wool. The double cloth weave is when two separate layers of fabric with their own warp and weft yarns are woven together with a third set of weft yarns. So really like two layers of fabric woven together. This can give a look of having, again, two separate fabrics glued together. They are very warm, heavy, and medium to thick fabrics. They also have the benefit of being highly reversible, so you can get two totally different fabric patterns on the face side than the wrong side. Crepe. As we learned, crepe really defines the type of yarn that is used to make the fabric. The crepe yarn is spun tightly in two different directions, making it not completely straight. Wool yarns are popular for making a crepe fabric. It has a very lovely springy drape, and the pebbly texture is quite pronounced in the wool varieties. They are typically woven in a plain weave, but rarely we can see twill weaves used from crepe yarns. Wool satin. Just like with sateen, we can see wool varieties of the satin weave. It's not just for silk. Satin, when woven in wool, creates a lovely subtle sheen. Often, wool satins are blended with silk or other synthetic fibers to give it a shinier face. Remember that satin is a wool and not a weave. Satin is a weave and not a fiber. This is why we are seeing cotton satins, as in sateen, wool satins, and we'll see many varieties of the satin weave in our silk section. The satin weave floats warp or weft yarns over 4 or more of their corresponding yarn. This creates a shiny surface, but a weak fabric. Other wools, knits. Wool jersey. Although we typically think of jersey as being a cotton fabric, it can come in any fiber. In fact, originally, jersey was made out of wool, not cotton. This way of knitting wool offers a thinner, more lightweight alternative to many other types of wool knits. Sweater knits. Sweaters are warm knit garments traditionally made from wool. In fact, wool is the knitter's traditional medium. Although we can knit any fiber yarn, wool has been a traditional favorite of knitters for a very long time. Even in commercial knitting today, wool is very popular. Other than coats and suits, sweaters is probably the most popular area that we see wool present today. Today, sweaters are knit using many different kinds of fiber, but wool again is still a popular choice for those who need superior warmth. Usually, wool sweaters are knit with woolen yarns to make them extra plush. However, they can be knit with worsted yarns as well when a slimmer look is desired. Because wool is so warm, sweaters utilize its warmth, especially in colder climates. Other wool knits. As mentioned, wool is incredibly warm, so wherever winter is cold, wool knits will have a home. Wool knits are used to create a wide variety of winter garments like hats, scarves, mittens, and socks. We are used to seeing socks made out of cotton as they are comfortable and absorbable. However, for a very cold winter, you should try some wool socks. They will keep your feet warm.